Welcome to Module E, Learning Curves. This is something that you are familiar with, or should be, with the fact how long does it take to learn something. But it also, in this particular case, we're going to modify this. How long does it take to do something which affects your costs? So we're going to define what a learning curve is. And a learning curve, and I'm going to show you in a moment, we're going to do some math on it and calculate times. We're also going to calculate the learning curve coefficient, which is the slope of the line, and what are the implications for the learning curves. So the basic premise is that when you do something more than one time or you repeat it, you get faster at it. So the first time you do something, you're slow. You make mistakes. You didn't bring the right equipment. The second time you do it better. You make fewer mistakes. You do it faster. Third time, fourth time. And the learning curves are not upward sloping, they're downward sloping, and they're logarithmic. So it's a curve. So it's like the opposite of what you learned in compound interest, where it's a curve and it goes up. This is a curve that goes down because we're talking about how long does it take to do something. So you get faster and faster. In other words, you take less and less time. And it's based on log 2, doubling. So 1 to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 8, 16, 32, etc. So you can see that it is a downward sloping curve. So when you first start doing something, again, you're going to be slower, and the more times you do it, the faster you tend to get. So in this particular case, unit number 1 takes 100 hours. There's an 80% learning curve. So in other words, unit 2 will take 80% of the time unit 1 did. You can see you multiply that to get 80, but then it doubles. It's not unit 3, it's unit 4 because it is a curve. So unit 4 is 80% of unit 2. So it's diminishing marginal returns. Unit 8 is 80% of unit 4, not of unit 7. If it was of unit 7, it would be a straight line. And unit 16 is 80% of unit 8. So you can see the math. And we will use the software on this. The software is really good for calculating the numbers, and it's really good for calculating the rate, because there'll be sometimes we want to find out the 0.8. And you have to be careful. Yes, anyways, well, I'll go through several examples on this. So following an aggressive pricing strategy, if you have a steep learning curve, you want to get high volumes. Certain companies are doing that to try to get, so they get high, again, they get high volumes and they can get lower cost per unit. And again, cost reductions, etc. Now, different companies have different learning curves, just like different people have different learning curves. Some of you students in this course learn the material faster than others. It's not a sign of intelligence, it's just a sign of your learning curve, because there'll be other subject areas that you will learn faster. So if you're a bit slower learner in this course, you may be a faster learner than somebody else in one of your other courses. So it's just a reflection on sometimes people's tendencies and the way they think and how they learn. All right, so again, if you make a change in technology or people, the learning curve will, say, spike up. So if usually what will happen is, think about this. You've got your smartphone. You've had it for 2 years. You've know the operating system inside and out. And then you get a new phone. Not only at the same time, but you get a new operating system. So now you've got to learn, and heaven forbid you switch from, say, Samsung to Apple or Apple to Samsung. They're very different. And so it will take you some time to get used to each one. So the fact that you've got a new phone and the operating system on the phone has changed. So that will cause a spike. You'll get slower for a while until you learn how to do the things you did before. copy and paste, and check out your emails and check out whatever you want. And Safari works different than Chrome, things along that line, or Androids work different than Apple's. And that's the end. There'll be several examples I show you using the software. So thank you for listening.